What up, homie G's? It is your boy MGD here with another podcast episode. I'm here with old high school buddy, Colin. Colin, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Any day with the homie G's is a day well spent.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, so we are here on the call talking about life in your 20s, just getting into the nitty-gritty of it, talking about the good things, bad things, and just in general, everything going on. But first, we're going to do another one of getting to know you with Colin here. I'm going to ask him some questions basically from childhood to now. So basically, we're going to ask him each stage in his life something you remember the most. So elementary school, and we'll go to middle school, high school, college, and then post college. So kind of your really early years, then to your like in your 20s, which Colin right now is 26. Like I said, we're in high school, or and we both graduated the same year. So yeah,
25.
Colin.
I'm
Oh, you're
sorry.
technically 25. And that's on me. I assumed. I assumed.
A couple
uh,
months and then we'll be
Couple
26.
months. Okay, well, I'll have to wish you happy birthday at that time. But I honestly, dude, you know what's funny? It was like right as I said it, I was like, shoot, I'm wrong, aren't I? Like I just instantly knew. I didn't even look at your face. I just knew right as I said it, I'm like, oh, he's 25.
That
I
doesn't look
don't
like
know what it
a
was.
that
Because
doesn't
that is
look
like,
funny. That doesn't look like
yeah.
a 26-year-old face. That's not he's not 26. I messed
He
up.
has to be 25, right? Yeah. Well, no, it's like because usually I feel like I've asked either before the podcast or I've mentioned it. But this one I was like, no, like he's the same age, like right as I started to
Yeah.
say it. And I was like, so I apologize,
No,
25.
fair assumption.
Um,
No, I'm not offended at all. And
yeah,
fair
yeah,
assumption. We graduated same class, so
yeah, exactly. So, all right, Colin, first starting off elementary school, what was like the biggest thing you remember, that you remember from that stage in your life?
yeah, I was thinking about this. I mean, that's really digging back a long time, but I think the thing that stands out the most, I mean, can I do a series of memories?
Yeah, go
One
for it.
distinct one.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's more of a really fond memory, and I suppose I learned certain things from it, but participating in the plays in elementary school was
yeah.
like
Okay.
favorite thing. I loved doing.
Really cool. Okay.
Third grade was we did The Wizard of Oz, and I played a Munchkin. And I don't really have many memories
Nice.
from that. It's just kind of being a little dude on stage, and that was a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
fun.
yeah. Okay, cool.
I can't remember what I did fourth grade, but fifth grade I was Prince Charming in the Cinderella play, and I
No
was
way.
honestly maybe this is where the lesson comes in because like I was really feeling myself, like I was feeling good, like
Yeah, you're Prince Charming,
I
bro.
was
Yeah, I
Prince
get that.
Charming, whole class was behind me. I was feeling myself walking through the hallways different, and then. I don't know the performance. Like there was a couple things that I mean, it's an elementary school play. What who really cares? But
Sure, sure.
there were a couple things that for my expectations, like I thought I was doing wrong, and like I remember after that, like kind of falling off the pedestal, like the cliff a little bit, but that being
Mhm.
like a good humbling thing going into middle school. So that's what I remember the
Yeah.
most. Those plays, they're a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
that's cool. Well, I mean, sometimes you need a good humbling. I
You
mean,
do.
I'm obviously, I wish you were still the Prince Charming in other plays, right? You did like the lead role, but yeah, sometimes that I guess needs to happen. But
Mhm.
sounds like you very much enjoyed it, right? That was,
It was
um,
fun.
yeah. I was just say, did you have to how are you with singing at that age in your life? Because plays, there's a bunch of singing. So,
No, I think I was a better singer
oh,
back then.
sick.
Like now every time I try, and my family like will encourage me. They're like this past Christmas we did karaoke, and
Yeah,
they were like, oh, go, like do like sing, like sing along with everyone else. And I was like,
yeah.
I don't want to, because like, and then
Yeah,
as
they
soon as I
do.
started singing, I like started croaking like a frog. I'm pretty sure my voice is
I
just
bet it wasn't that bad. I bet it
it's
wasn't
pretty
that
bad.
bad.
It's not like it used to be, not like it used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that elementary school sounds like a great time. But it was cool to I guess get that experience, get humbled. Did you pursue play in middle school and high school?
I did a play in middle school, but I can't remember what it was right now.
Okay.
I'm completely blanking on that. I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah,
wasn't as like it just didn't mean as much to me or something. But yeah,
yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Did you do plays when you were?
I did fifth grade. I did the fifth grade play. I think I was the same. It was with Sleeping Beauty, and I think I was like one of the gremlins or something like that. I liked it
Gremlins.
though. Yeah, I can't remember. It was one of the evil witches like henchmen, like something like that. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I
mm.
think that's what they're called. I can't remember, but no, I mean I think like also too like just stuff like that, like with also band. like band is something it just after time, less and less people are interested in it. Just how it goes.
I know it's so sad.
Yeah, yeah.
I still have I did orchestra, but I still have my instrument.
I
It
don't know why. Yeah,
it collects dust though. It's really bad. I need to get
yeah.
back.
Yeah, I recently gave mine to a friend. So I had my old trumpet and
Oh,
I gave it to a friend because he wanted to use it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not using it. Sure. I was like, you might need to clean it out a little bit, but feel free to use it.
you just gave it to him. You didn't even
Well,
like.
I no, I said like if you want to give it back, but honestly, I'm not gonna really push him on it. Like he gets it back when he wants to get it back, he can.
That's really nice. That's nice
Yeah.
of
Yeah, thank you. He hears his podcast and he's never gonna give me it back now. He's like, oh, that's fine then.
you.
He's
Yeah.
gonna sell it on eBay or something. Yeah. All right. So the next part, going into middle school.
hmm
What are your thoughts?
yeah, that I'm gonna be struggling with specific memories. I'm so sorry. But
You're totally fine.
I think a general thing that I remember from that age is just realizing how people were changing and their priorities were
Yeah.
changing at that point, and
Yeah.
most of their priorities were aligned with social image and status, and people just really they just want to belong to a group, and
Yeah.
that's what I realized from that time, and and it's something honestly that I even struggle with after. Like it's like I knew that lesson when I went through middle school, but I still kind of like didn't really adhere to this. But
Yeah.
rather than falling in line and trying to like belong to a, I mean, I'm not saying like you shouldn't have a group, like that's an important thing. You should have friends, but
Mhm.
like it's important not to try to change yourself to fit in because that's just an
Yeah.
impossible thing.
Yeah. Not
That's what I
conforming.
realized.
Exactly. Yeah. Not doing it because, oh, whatever, I need the social status. No, that's a great point. I felt in middle school too, we were just trying to be like the it person, for part of your reason. I think sometimes you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna hang out with my friends, but you're also like, oh, cool, like this is the it crowd. Like I feel like everyone has that part of them that wants to be like, yeah, I would like to be popular. You see the movies, right? You see things, you're like, oh, that looks cool. And also with the movies, I didn't really think always that cliche thing was as big in our school
Mhm. Yeah,
until like sometimes you do see it and you're like, oh, okay, like it is still a thing. But you saw it in movies and you're like, oh, that is like that's way outdated, but not really. I mean,
not
especially
really.
what you just said. Yeah.
History repeats itself. It's not really
Yeah.
outdated.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, yeah. I mean, I feel it took some time for you to find your group in middle school, perhaps, but you were able to find your group.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple friends that I took from elementary school, but that's another weird thing too. Like, there's just like weird like fractures that start in friendships just because everyone's changing. It's like you're not gonna be
Yeah.
friends with the same people that you
Yeah.
in elementary school.
It's
Which
true.
is it's kind of a tragic thing, but I don't know. Then you get
Yeah.
over it. Then I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it connects to now, right? Like post college. I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit, but like post college, you are, you're moving to different states and everything. You're going to lose some friends. You're going to gain some friends, but some friends you're going to lose because just maybe you were friends in college, we weren't super close, and then you moved far enough away that you're just not keeping the contact.
Yeah,
Yeah. Also, middle school, I mean, you said changing. Literally, they made a whole show, Big Mouth, about it.
I
It's
forgot
literally,
about that
yeah,
show.
you're literally physically changing. There was times I remember one time, like I was just like, I just could feel like my like legs and my arms were too big for my body. Like I just felt so like I was like I'm like they grew, but my like rest of my body didn't. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
So that felt weird to me. And now I do remember like kind of we were saying that's kind of a little bit of a memory. Just I remember one time like really like moving my arms and being like, oh my gosh, they're so far away, like something like that.
That's so far away. I
Yeah,
can't even feel my fingers.
I
They're too
can't
far.
even feel my thing. Yeah. Next point, high school. What are you thinking?
High school, the theme was very similar to the one that I just mentioned with middle school.
Yeah.
But in terms of a specific memory, my it was my last day of senior year, and I was in an orchestra class, and we were like it was the last day, and it was a bunch of just seniors like signing yearbooks, so we weren't like playing instruments or anything, so we're
Sure.
all just kind of like mucking around this huge like orchestral room,
Okay.
and at some point, me and a friend Roland, shout out Roland, we
Sure.
ran into the parking lot for God knows what reason. Maybe he remembers, and I'd have to ask him. But because my memory is really bad. But
All good.
we just ran out like in the middle of class, just like kind of messing around. I think he had a football, and we were like throwing a football back and forth or something.
Uh,
And to me, it wasn't that huge of a deal. Like we weren't. My orchestra teacher, which another shout out to Mr. Gumper, and rest in peace too. He actually just passed.
oh,
Um,
I hear that.
yeah, pretty sad.
Oh,
But he saw us like out there, and I thought it was gonna be fine. But he got extremely livid. Like he never was really that way with us. Like he was a
yeah,
great like teacher who really got down to earth with people. But
yeah.
he like popped off when he
Did
saw
not
us
like
out there.
that.
Like he did not like
Interesting.
that we were out there, and that's the last memory that I have with him from high
Ah,
school. I think I might have seen him at graduation or something
okay,
briefly.
good. Yeah, yeah.
But like, which is a bit of a saving grace, but like, given that I had such a good relationship with him, like over the 4 years, and then I did that to him right at the end, I don't know. It was just like there was something about that moment where it was like, I'm
Tough.
still getting in trouble this way, like,
Yeah. Also, like you were throwing a
like,
football, but yeah, I get it. I
but
get
we
it.
shouldn't have
Like
been doing
technically,
that.
right? You're
It's
technically
like,
supposed to be in class physically to see you. Like technically, you're cutting class, right?
yeah,
So
technically I am, I guess.
yeah,
I don't know. Something about that moment really made me be like, it was a bit of a wake up call. Like, okay, you're going to college. You got to like lock in a
now
little
do
bit.
that.
You be doing stupid stuff like this. So.
Yeah, sure. And you're gonna do some silly stuff in college, but it's a
And I
little
did. Oh, trust
yeah.
me, I did.
But yeah, sorry to hear that he passed away. Like
Yeah.
how's the impact that he had on your high school career? And honestly now, like what is something I think you've learned from him the most?
Uh, just appreciate the moment the best you
Mm,
can. I think that's the biggest thing with him. Even if he didn't verbalize that, there was just a certain way that like he would handle himself, or a certain way that he would show like appreciation for the way that you're playing your instrument. Or there's just something where like when you were with him, it was about like the music that you were working on, and everything else just kind of faded away. And I think that's a really important thing
yeah. That's
to live,
beautiful, dude.
especially these days. We live in a really busy world, and I
Oh
think like
yeah.
any kind of like tunneling through of that you can do is going to be good for yourself, and that's a way to do that. That's a way to just like remind yourself that I don't know. It's like a very grounded approach to life that he took, and that's what I liked about him most.
That's awesome.
And he was just a great person. Like we were all
Yeah.
pretty sad when he passed. There was a bunch of texting going around, and he definitely had a. It wasn't just me he had an impact on. You know, it was
Yeah.
a
Very
wide.
community aspect. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, no, dude, being in the moment, that is huge. I think just
Mhm.
like in appreciating what is going on in your life is, I mean, you never know, right? Like, I mean, once again, rest in peace to him, but like I don't know if it was sudden, but that could be literally just you never know what'll happen. So just to be appreciating what's going on around you, even if it's just little things, like
Yep.
it's a great thing to think about in your life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Uh, yeah, so that was great. And we'll go to the last two, and then it was just cool. This kind of will set up the next one. You haven't talked about my what my next question would be, so that was good. I thought maybe you would start to talk about it. So yeah, college and then post college. What are your thoughts there?
Um, college. I think you
So
get very.
where'd you go, by the way?
Oh, I went to Binghamton,
Cool. What'd
Binghamton
you study?
University, 4 years. Studied applied mathematics.
Cool. Okay. All
Yep.
right, now continue.
Um,
Sorry. Like
no,
to
no,
give a little
you're good.
background.
Maybe I should have started with that.
Yeah,
That's
you're fine.
important. Um, I would say at this point in my life, like I wasn't ever like the best student, but I got A's in high school. Like I was like in that kind of like honors echelon. And it was like I still worked hard for certain things in high school. Not everything came easy, but it was for the most part it was fine. I wasn't like spending hours on end at night like, you know, studying. In college that changed quick. Like you get you get intellectually humbled fast, and
Yes.
that's the thing that I remember the most. Like being outside of your little like town that you grew up in, and being in an environment that filters in a bunch of different people from different environments and different backgrounds and
Yeah, for
intelligence
sure.
levels.
For sure.
You quickly, I don't want to say you get lost in the mess of it all. Like in some ways I feel like I did a little bit because college was pretty hard for me academically, especially towards the end.
Uh-huh.
Like I had a hard time, but
Gotcha.
uh Yeah, I think that's my answer. Just like just realizing where you are in the pecking order, so to speak. And that's
Mhm.
not like a that's not a damnation. That's not to say like, oh, like your life is over now. Like there are other intangibles and other aspects of your personality or of yourself or other skill sets
Yeah.
that you can rely upon going forward. That's what you find out. But yeah, in terms of like raw intelligence and that 4.0 coveted 4.0 GPA, the dean's list, not for me,
Not
not
for you. That's okay.
not for
Well,
me.
let me give some viewers a context. Binghamton is also a very good school.
It's
Uh,
pretty good.
I thought so. I think it's the top SUNY. So SUNY also is a New York school. So I think it's one of the best. So very good school you went to, and also yeah, I mean sometimes also it would be like the major. The first couple classes are tough, and then you get involved. Maybe you were involved with also some extracurriculars, and then adding that all onto it, like you said, your
Yeah.
last couple of years was really difficult, right?
Yep. Very, yeah. I
So
mean, I wish what you just said right there, like joining clubs and getting involved socially, I wish I had done more of that. I
okay,
was not that person in college, and like that really would have helped. Like having that support
yeah,
system in an environment like that is everything.
yeah,
So
gotcha.
anyone who's listening to this that's about to go into college or like is in the middle of it, I'm sure if you're in the middle of it, I'm sure you already kind of know what we're alluding to here. Like
Right. Yeah.
get friends,
Yeah.
and especially
That's true.
friends in your major. Like that is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And even honestly, you're going back for your master's, have be friends with people in your class, even just like a
True.
little, if you know one of them, be like, hey, do you want to study or do you want compare homework or something like that? Like that can be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess, and if it's okay to ask this question, basically, like you were saying, you didn't really get into a lot of clubs and everything. What was the rationale behind that? Was it just too busy, or just what was the
Too
reason you weren't
scared.
getting into clubs?
Too
Gotcha.
scared. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the rationale. It's not a good rationale, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just curious the background of it. Yeah.
that's what it is. It was the it's going back to what I said about middle school earlier. Maybe if I had like remembered that lesson at that time, and
Yeah.
I guess it took you asking me questions for it to come for me to finally spout out the lesson. But in college, I just yeah, I didn't. It would have been important to remember that like I didn't have to perfectly fit in anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
these clubs are not designed for you to be a perfect fit. They're designed for you to grow. Like that's
Right.
kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
So I definitely stifled my growth in that way. And
Gotcha.
it's a regret, but other people
Yeah.
don't make the same mistake. So
Yeah. Can learn from this, and you could teach fellow people that either cousins or something that are going into it. You can give that recommendation.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, that obviously does stink. So,
it's
but
my fault though. So
yeah, and
yeah,
then it's something you learn from it. Yeah, and you're able to. I think you're able to talk about it now and just
yeah,
be able to realize like, yeah, that's something I should have went into. Would have helped, but it's try to do that in the next stage in your life, right?
that's correct. It's water
Yeah,
under the bridge, as they say.
exactly. There you go. So then the next stage, I guess, after college.
Um, No one has it figured out as an adult.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, this whole time we've been building this plot of like elementary to college of like, all right, you learned this lesson. Oh, it's going well. You're finding yourself. It's all water under the bridge, and then you're like, it's gonna pay off in adulthood, and in some way it pays off, and in many other ways it doesn't. Because like, I don't know, things in adulthood that you didn't think were complex when you were younger turn out being very complex.
Mhm.
Um, and no one has it figured out. So I think in that way you can almost find community.
Yeah.
Just like being like, hey, like this person that seems like have it all figured out, they really don't. If I talk to them
Mhm.
for a little bit, we're gonna find something that we both are like confused about that we can talk about
Yeah.
realistically and honestly. So
No, you're right.
that's what I've been, and this is in any like the job that I got right out of college when I made the move to I live in Chicago now. I lived in New York, but now I live in Chicago. So the move to Chicago, like there was, I can't think of any right now, but like
You're
specifically, but
good.
there's plenty of instances where this like it became so obvious to me that like no one knows what they're doing. So
Yeah. And honestly, Colin, I really appreciate that advice. And honestly, just saying that, I feel that that was really real and really good for this podcast. That is a very
thanks.
real, yeah, very real of like, hey, there's like, even with me, I don't know what I'm doing this podcast. I don't know if I'm going to do this 10 years from now. I'm liking it. I'm passionate about it, but I might not, have the time for it. I might not know exactly what I'm doing. I don't know, every aspect to editing and all that comes with a podcast. So yeah, that was a very real answer. So I do appreciate that. And I think you just kind of similar to honestly every stage in your life, you're figuring it out, right? You're learning from people. You learned, right, that you wanted to join clubs. You learned in middle school that, maybe there isn't a group for like, you're trying to fit into a group, like you don't need to necessarily do that with yourself,
Yeah.
but you're learning every stage in your life. You're learning those aspects. And then, still, I didn't feel it was generally falling off a cliff with the the adulthood, but it's generally learning like, hey, like nobody has figured out. They're learning these lessons and they're learning even more throughout your life. So
Yeah.
you're trying to apply it as best as you can and, learn from your mistakes, but you're still going to keep making mistakes. That's part of life.
Always, we're always going to be messing up and always learning lessons.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
ultimate lesson.
Yeah. Well, Colin, those were great answers for each stage of your life. I wanted to know, was there a job or experience in your younger years that makes you appreciate the job that you have now? So some job or some experience, maybe some really difficult class that you're like, I really now enjoy the job I have, which also please let me know what job you currently have.
So job I currently have is I work as a clerk at a library, McCook Public Library. It's just outside
Okay.
of Chicago. Shout out
Gotcha.
McCook Public Library and shout out our like 10 patrons that come in per week because
Okay.
I really do love this library. I'm not trying to like desecrate it in any way, but it's just the truth. Not enough people come in. So if you live
Gotcha.
in Illinois, come through.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, this job I have now is very low key. It's very, not physically demanding at all. And that
Mm.
makes me think of a job that I previously had, it was very brief. It was only for like 2 months and it was set up by my dad. My dad used to work for UPS. He's now retired. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Um,
Congratulations.
but he used to work for UPS, so he set me up with like a winter driver assistant job, I think it was called. So
Okay.
basically just like was in a truck with one of his friends that he knew on the job. I just like did a
Got
rep
you.
and helped
Okay.
deliver
Okay.
packages. Um, and like even in that like setup, I wasn't like the one doing the majority of the work. I was just kind of along for the ride training, so to speak.
Sure.
But that job sucked. And I like that it's something that makes me really appreciate what I even got after. Because what I got after, I haven't worked a physical job since, but it's made me appreciate every job since because it was just so physically demanding. And like thinking about how my dad worked that job for like I think it was like 30 plus years, like 35 years. Like
Mm.
and he was putting in longer days than I was. Like I think I was just working during the holidays and I was only doing like specific like burst like
Okay.
periods of the day, like where we
A
really had a lot.
4 hour day or something, or a
Yeah, it was
four
like it was
hour
like it was
yeah.
I think it was a little longer than that. It was like 7, 8 hours. It wasn't like a full day like that, but it just really put into I was 19 at the time, so even really like more impressionable and like less aware of what the real world was
Sure.
like.
Sure.
So my dad was actually a genius for making me do it at that time because he was like basically like study and get a degree or else like you're gonna be working some kind of job like this. And like
Mm.
maybe I didn't have to work a job just like that. But
Yeah.
still, it's like it raised my floor for expectations of what I want my job to look like because yeah, that was not good. I was not
Yeah.
um,
Wow. So it was
yeah.
just so physically tiring?
Very
Or
physically tiring and like you're in a truck with another dude that you don't know too
yeah,
well
I was gonna say,
all
right,
day.
yeah.
So
Okay.
that there's a certain like energy that gets sapped. And he was a really nice guy I drove with. Like he was fine. It just was like it's just tough like
Yeah.
working on the shift and then the weather was
Oh,
terrible.
for
Like the
sure. Winter.
snow,
Yeah, there you go.
upstate New York and the snow is
Yeah.
just fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why I appreciate what I got now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's the labor intensive is so different. So that's in its own right is already better. No,
Yeah.
honestly, I agree with that with the appreciating a job because I had a job as I worked at the Dollar Tree and I did like the really early morning shifts, or I would just like kind of work during the day, like basically stacking the shelves. And just I felt like the people there were just they're kind of mean and it was just
Yeah.
very not it was not I was, like a minimum wage job, so not the greatest pay, and just I felt like I was trying my best, and I was getting there like bright and early, basically before the store opened to help
Wow.
set up, and yeah, I just didn't, I don't know, I didn't feel fully appreciated, and it was just like, dang, like this was like a lot of people were very just like not a great culture, and I felt like I was like, oh, I'm not waking up early, very physically, like you said. I had to carry a lot of big boxes. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you look in the Dollar Tree, a lot of stuff are right really tiny, but they come in these huge boxes. So it was
Right.
very physically demanding as well. And I was very, very glad that I was going to school for, pursuing a higher education, and very much made me appreciate like not having to do physically demanding jobs, and then also that I could find stuff more suited also that I wanted to do with my career that I liked,
Mm.
in which currently I'm doing finance, and I'm like a financial analyst, and I like it a lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
what do you think? Like, I guess I guess when would you know you've? I mean, that's is a tough question. When do you think you would know you've been emotionally developed, and I guess like what is I guess something that you're still working on emotions wise?
Um,
Once again, if you're okay answering
yeah, no, I'm okay. I just
it.
hope I give you a good one. Like when
Yeah,
when would I know? I mean, I can't like give you some tangible like scenario in which
yeah, that's
I
okay.
don't because I don't know what that's going to be, but I think just like something would happen and I would feel something would happen to me or I would make something happen and like the fallout from that or like the hours after that there would be some period of reflection on what just happened and
Okay,
then from that point forward like kind of a shift in my behavior and like not even in my behavior but in like my in what my like desires are for myself. I think
okay,
I think that would change a little bit.
yeah.
um and then your second part of the question was
Basically, like what something you're working on emotionally.
I think just regulating stresses more.
Okay.
I think I even said it earlier in this podcast, like it's a really noisy, busy world. It's really easy to lose yourself to that, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm certainly a victim of that, and I continue to be, but like just blocking that out, like really narrowing down on what things are important to you and like just sticking to
Mm,
easy everyday habits as much as
beautiful.
you don't want to do them. Like
Yeah.
I think that is, I know that maybe that's a boring answer, but like that
No, for
seems to
sure.
be the way to elicit this kind of like emotional uh upheaval.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's going to be, I mean, with progress in that, there's going to be a lot of, back, right, left, like triangle. Like you're literally not going to go in a direct path. It's not going to
Yeah.
get
A
every day
triangle.
be better. Yeah,
True.
I just thought to throw you off there. But yeah, no, that is something. It's just that progress. It's very
Mhm.
tough.
It's a good
It's
point. It's
yeah,
not always about moving forward. Sometimes it seems like from the outside you're gonna have to move back, but it
yeah. You're not trying to, but just it just generally happens, and
just happens.
I think that's something maturity in though and recognizing that.
Yeah.
You mentioned too with a little bit of progress. Like, what is some things that you've been trying to doing, like little steps to it? Because I feel like that is something you make little steps each day. It'll progress over time.
Little steps is the way to go. I used to make the mistake of like trying like I would have a night where I would like feverishly like type out everything in my notes app and be like, all right, we're gonna do this and this and this tomorrow, and like we're gonna conquer the world tomorrow. And then
Yeah,
tomorrow comes and I do like one out of the 20 things that I wrote down, which
yeah,
is just not sustainable, right? So
right.
recently I've tried to just adopt the mindset of like you don't have to win the day, just like you don't want to lose it either. Just do
Okay,
enough to like kind of get the ball rolling.
yeah,
Um, Stuff that I've been doing recently, I've been going back to the gym.
cool.
Um,
Congrats.
I've been making more of an effort to. I can't say making more of an effort to reach out to people. I still struggle with that, but I've tried to be more present in my social interactions because I
Yeah,
was very shut in for a while, and that's just not the way to be. So I mean, maybe that doesn't seem like much, but that's just like a little thing that I've been trying to do that like helps me,
yeah.
keeps me going. Eating healthy. I know that, again, I know these are all boring
No, it
pieces of
honestly it
advice, but
progresses though. Yeah, no, you're right.
yeah, eating healthy, that's a big one. Um, yeah, I think those small habits.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I've
I
been trying to
mean,
do.
it's going to take time for it to slowly build up. Like I feel there's, when you were saying like the 20 notes things, I definitely have that. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do so much in a day. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're not trying to lose a day, But eventually, you could be in that mindset of like win the day. You're getting to those points that you're doing like 18, 19, but you're not doing it the first day, right? It's going to be like one, maybe next week it's two, then next week it's the following week it's three. Like it keeps progressing up there. And I think I have struggled with that is that I've been like, I'm going to start all these projects and I'm going to do them all at once. And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, there's this thing that got in my way. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like I can't do it. I was like, well,
Or
no,
or
like,
or just like or just my energy dips. Like
yeah,
sometimes it's not even a thing gets in the way. It's just like I go to do the thing that I wrote down on the notes app, and it's just like now I don't want to do it, or now that not even that I don't want to do it, I'm just not thinking about it the right way, or it's just
yeah.
like yeah.
And I think with going off your brain fully developed, is one powerful thing is listening to your brain of being like,
Mhm.
I am really tired. I know I am supposed to do three times going to the gym a week. But whatever, it's the last day of the week. I'm supposed to go today, but I am beat because of whatever work the previous day, or you went out with friends or something like that. And you're just like, I know physically if I go to the gym, it's going to really affect me. And not most of the time the gym is supposed to be positive, right? But this will negative affect like I will be too exhausted to do other things and I will like not enjoy my gym session. So I think there's power to listening to your body in that regard.
There's something to be said for willpower too. Like
Mhm.
I don't think that we should like just like write that off, but yeah, when I mean like in that scenario you forego the gym so that you have a better week like next week. So
Yeah,
it is a very hard thing to kind of
yeah,
draw the needle in on. Like you're not really sure when to push yourself and when not to, but
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
You do it enough and you find like what works for you, I
Yeah.
suppose.
And then if you don't mind me asking this, like, because once again, you're giving really real answers. Like you said, I'm going to do all this stuff on my notes. Like something I'm imagining is triggering that event on your notes app, like for you to be like, I got to go this, I got to get my life better doing this stuff. If you don't mind saying, like, what is something that triggers that?
What's the thing that makes me like go to the notes app?
Yeah, or just get you very, I guess, can get you stressed out like that.
Um,
I know it can be a mix.
late night ruminating sessions,
Sure, sure.
spiraling mentally at late at night.
Yeah.
It really is that late at night like pondering that gets you. It's a trap
Of
because
like, what if? Yeah.
it's all the what ifs. It's like all the regrets like start flooding in and like it's so easy to fall and I still do that sometimes too. Like it's so easy to fall into that kind of self-deprecating state late at night because
Mhm.
nothing's going on like in the world. It's all quiet. You have time to
Yep.
actually like be with your thoughts and like be alone and like sort it out. So there's like that's usually what sparks it for me whenever I have like one of those nights where I'm just writing down a bunch of notes or like plans for myself.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's important to have those like thinking sessions, but you got to move past it eventually. You can't just like
Yeah.
be thinking your whole life. It's not the way to
Yeah.
live.
Got to start doing and realize, hey, this already happened in the past. There's nothing I can do, right? Like
Yep.
this area or this thing in my life, it's past, right?
It's
This
gone.
nothing, some things you can try to, figure out, but then there's some things like, hey, like, maybe in high school I should have joined this club, or like, oh, I wish I, pursued swimming more. But at this point now, you can't do that. Like you could get into swimming and maybe that's you become your passion now, but
You're
it's
not gonna
not
be any
something.
Michael Phelps. Like,
Right. And you're not gonna, yeah, and you're not gonna go on the high school swim team again, right? Like that's just not gonna happen. So yeah, you just need to, and there's, that's a small example. There's much big, deeper things. So just having to move past that, which, hey man, it's hard to do. Weird, like I know you just saying it's difficult for you, and I'm not saying I'm the expert or anything, but
yeah, I just did
it's
it the other night. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm so, and it's just a natural thing. So
yeah,
um, but yeah, I appreciate you sharing. I know that's a difficult uh thing to share and that's happening. So
it is difficult, but like I imagine that a lot of people listening to this do the same thing that we're doing. Like, it helps knowing that I know other people out there are doing the same thing. So
yeah, that's
we're all in the
great.
same boat.
Yeah. And then for, your parents, like, right, like I know I've met his parents.
Of course.
And so like they, have, helped you in your 20s. They've taught you a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And what do you think that they've taught you that you thought were going to be easy? Like they said in your 20s, hey, this is going to be really difficult. And then you thought it was, oh, it'll be easy. But then
Yeah.
actually it's been really hard, like they mentioned.
Yeah, I've got two answers for this, and
Okay, cool.
one of my
Yeah.
answers does have a lot to do with what you're talking about here, like or what we were just talking about. I mean, they did tell me that it was hard to make new friendships, like you just said. So that is kind of part of it, but I think more for what they told me more poignantly, it's maintaining the friendships that I used to have. I
Mm,
thought in high school, I thought that was going to be so easy. Not even necessarily that it was going to be easy, but it was going to be easy because I was going to be thinking about holding on to those friendships in a different way than they thought about holding on to their friendships. If that
mm.
makes sense. I
That
don't know.
does make sense. No, I think I know what you mean.
Like it's
Yeah.
just like something about it's just like I'm gonna learn from what I see with them and their lack of friendships, and it's gonna be different for me. And
Mm,
it's like
okay.
I reached a point where I was like I realized that me holding on to a friendship or not is the impetus for that it's far beyond my control. Like
Yeah.
it's subject to the world and like that person's own experiences and mine and how those like coalesce. Like it's a really hard thing to do. You have to
Yeah.
be very
No, it's an
committed to the
interesting
friendship.
answer though.
You have to repeatedly like reach out. It's a really hard thing to do, especially
Yeah.
as I get older. It only gets tougher.
Okay.
Um, my second answer to this would be like the financial aspect of my life. Like
Mm,
my dad's just usually my dad's. I mean, my mom gave me advice too, but like my dad's very strict in his own life about it. So he would be
mm.
like, you know, like he would always tell me like things are so expensive and like you're always going to be having to save money. And like I knew I'd have to do that, but I suppose I
Yeah.
didn't know I had to do it to this degree. Like fully being on my own at this point, it like really puts it into perspective. And I
Yeah.
hate saying that because it's like it comes off as such like a bratty thing or like that I used to like a belief
I
that I
wouldn't
used
say
to
that.
have where it's like, oh, this is easy. Like it can't be that
Yeah.
hard to manage your finances. And honestly, when you boil down like in my opinion, when you boil down a lot of financial advice that you'll hear online, a lot of it is like kind of common sense. It's not so much that
Mm,
the individual moves are that complex. I mean, when you're dealing with stuff like I don't know, like Roth IRAs or something like
sure.
that. That gets a little like tricky and like
Sure, sure,
that
sure.
that
Like
gets you have to do
options
some
and
research
yeah.
for
Okay,
that.
yeah.
But I just mean like the simple like moves of like I don't know like saving like setting up a goal for yourself to like put in $500 like per month and your savings
Sure.
as an example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a very easy thing like in terms of
You just have to dedicate your time to it, like dedicate your
that
resources to it. Yeah.
that's the hard part. Thank you. You've said it better than I could.
No,
Like
you're good. You're good.
that's the tough part. Is the consistency of it. So that's
Yeah.
something that my dad preached, and I'm finding out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I'll go back to your first point, as I feel like with the friendship thing, it's also comparing. I think that comparing it is so hard not to do in our society, but like you're just comparing like, oh, like what friends do they have and like what people are they talking to? And also I think too, like I will give you credit by the way, like it works both sides, right? Like with communicating with the friendship, like there's people that you're like, oh man, I don't reach out to them. It's also, hey, they're not reaching out to you. Just naturally how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sadly, sadly.
I thought it's sad, but it's just true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Even in the day of connectivity, right? Like it's still like, hey, you still need to be putting in the effort.
And I think for certain like friendships that are now previous friendships, like it's kind of about like you shifting off of your like ego. Like you realize like there is a bit of ego in that trying to like hold on to friendships because at that point you're almost like how should I say it? Like you're almost like gamifying the friendship. You're not like
Sure.
appreciating for what it is. I definitely found myself like trapped in that. Not that I was like being a bad friend. It was just like I would have a friend that I hadn't talked to like since high school graduation or whatever, and then I'd have like that impulse to be like, "Oh, I should reach out." And then what you just said, where like they aren't also reaching out, the thought comes to you of like, "Okay, they also aren't reaching out, and I haven't." It's like, you know, am I just intruding on this person's life needlessly now if I'm
Mm,
doing that? Like, I think it's important to recognize where you are in all of that. Like,
yeah.
you know.
Gamify. Can you go into that a little bit more? I'm
Yeah, I don't know
curious.
if that's the right word. Just like
And
I,
when you said that, I was intrigued though.
I don't think that was the right word. Just like trivializing the friendship.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
just making it basically like another like notch on the board of like, oh, I still talk to this person, but like as you're talking to them, you're not
Hmm.
really appreciating
Yeah.
talking to them. And
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not saying that's necessarily like a bad reflection on you. It just might mean that like you're in a different part of your life than that person now. Like you're just in two different places. You're not connecting in the same way. There's a
Right.
lot to be said for like being in school and being in that confined space for years upon years together. Like proximity forces like kinship and like relationships. And when you take that away, sometimes you discover that I don't know, the friendship wasn't that strong. I don't mean to
Mhm.
sound so like depressing, but
No, I
it's
mean,
what
you're
it is.
correct. You're correct. I mean, that is also, you're not trying in a friendship to be like, oh, like he, gave me this. Like, oh, I gotta give him this next time. Or like keeping score, like, well, actually, like I paid for the last two meals. He should pay
Yeah.
for that. Like in a true friendship, you're not supposed to, right?
Mm,
Obviously, if it gets to an egregious amount, it's eventually like, hey, man, like, I've paid for the last 10 dinners or something. Like, you got to
yeah.
pay for one.
I'm
But no,
gonna have to beat you up, man. You better pay
yeah,
me
but
back.
like no, in a true friendship that shouldn't come up, which is still it's hard. I've gotten better with that. I've not really thought about that as much. I'm like, no, like man, I don't mind. Like no, but it is. I felt like when it was more in college, it was definitely you were keeping that more attractive because also was you were paying for stuff. It's not as you weren't having a full-time job, so I think it was a little tougher. But now I
Yeah.
feel I've also just gotten better with the better mindset of being like, no, they're a good friend. Like I'll pay for this. Like that's fine. Like even if whatever, if I am one upping it, it's not even doesn't even come into my mind anymore.
I've always said, yeah, I've always been pretty good with that too. And it helps that
Yeah,
we have apps like Venmo that like can keep
true.
all
Yeah, that's
that.
true.
Like it's not like
That's a
we're
good one.
keeping each of us are keeping a ledger like
Physically,
yeah,
yeah, note
you know,
app or something. Yeah, you're right.
that
No, you're
helps.
totally right there. Um, so my answer for this,
Mm,
honestly, a more funny answer. So I think my parents said would be hard would be making dinner for myself. And I was like, nah, I got this. I know how to do it. We like, I would do it sometimes as a kid and like my parents showed me how. And I think generally I'm like, I can make simple
I can
stuff.
make a waffle. I'm good.
Sure, waffle PB&J, sure, whatever. I don't think I realized like how much like variety my mom and dad made. And my mom
Yeah.
did most of the cooking, but the variety that they made, I just think now I'm like I am struggling sometimes to be like, oh my God, I feel like I've done a similar meal to this like 2 weeks ago. I'm not doing as complex meals. I'm just doing more on the simpler side.
Yeah.
And and that's for me. I can do some more research, but I just thought, oh, I'll be able to figure all that out and it'll be easy. But it's really time and effort to do, and I just am not doing that right now. So that was something I was like, oh, that'll be easy, and yeah, like that is. I mean, it's not. I'm cooking good things, but I thought it'd be hard, like easier to make all this complex stuff, but nope, not at all.
No, not a chance.
No, not at all.
When you do cook, do you find it to be like a calming thing? Like is it nice to like focus on that and kind of turn your brain off? That's what
I
I
think
use.
a mix of both. Yeah, sometimes I like too that I'm like sometimes if I have let's say like chicken on like on a pan that I can like walk away for a little bit. Like right, I don't have to be like sitting there waiting for it. I'd be like, okay, it's gonna take a couple minutes for this
Right.
side of it or whatever. So honestly, yeah, there's sometimes feel calming. I do feel like accomplished when I've made like lasagna or if I've made something more complex. I'm like,
You're making lasagna out here?
I have, yes. That's
Ooh.
my favorite food. So I will I'm always down for lasagna. Me and
Lasagna
Garfield,
is good.
we're there on that.
Lasagna is really good.
Mm.
I'm not doing anything near that. I just
Ah,
skillet any kind of meat, usually chicken, eggs,
sure,
veggies, done. Like just
sure.
throw it on the pan, throw it over the heat. That's it.
But at least you could still it can be simple things. But if you're trying to eat healthy, you could still do that by making simple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but that was something I yeah just didn't realize. I was like, wow, like I gave them props. There was one day I went home and I was like, yeah, I give you guys props. I don't make anything close to this. Like my mom made stir fry or like a bunch of like a meal with a bunch of sides. It was like, I don't do this. I was like, this is so much more complex than what I do.
You're missing that home cooking.
I am, and you
Yeah,
always will. You always will.
I
When your
know, me
parents
too.
leave, you always will.
Shout out my
I
mom's
feel
shrimp
for it.
scampi. Love
Yeah.
my mom's shrimp
Oh,
scampi.
there you go.
That was
There
good
you
stuff.
go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, Colin, I wanted to say thank you very much for being on the podcast. I'm gonna end with the last question. Do with every viewer. And I've said that a million times, and I will probably do that. This will be the last time I'll say that. I hope for everyone that's listening.
For the
uh,
listeners out there.
yeah, I'll do it literally next episode. But my point I wanted to make is
Mm.
that so basically last advice that you wanted to give to people in your 20s, something either can be kind of finding themselves, you could tailor it to something that we just discussed, or just lasting advice to give to people listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I think it's fitting if I say an answer here that kind of goes with what we were talking about this whole episode, which is just like you don't have to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And like I used to hear that when I was younger and just be like, well, that's like such an uncomfortable way to live, and like I need to like
Mm.
find my thing. And like, yeah, that's true. Ideally, you want to work up to a point where you find like something that really like hooks you and wants to get, wants makes you want to get up in the morning. But it's okay not to have it figured out. People have it figured out, and then something happens in their life and they don't anymore. Like life really is that kind of unpredictable beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pick something. I mean, with that, like, don't just be like completely apathetic. Like you got to pick something. I fell victim to that. I've been apathetic for a long time, but like pick something, even if it doesn't feel totally right. See if you like it. If you don't, move on. It's really, I mean, the minutia of it is gonna get, complex, sure, but really at the end of the day, it is that simple. Like people overestimate like how much one little thing is going to do for them for their lives, and like oftentimes we're wrong about that. Like humans are smart, but we're kind of dumb too. Like in our
Sure.
analysis of ourselves, like we're really stupid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
just keep it
You
moving.
also do stupid things. Yeah. Yeah. I
Just
agree.
yeah, just keep it moving. I think that's the best advice I can give.
Yeah. I think you gave great advice. Just to be, people don't have it figured out. You got to be true to yourself and just, keep doing your thing.
Be open to change. Be open to
Yeah. That's a
everything.
that's a huge one too.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Colin, thank you very much for being on the podcast. Homie G's,
Appreciate it.
thank you very much for listening. And as always, follow the channel, watch, listen, and please subscribe and do anything to help this channel grow. Send it to people. I really appreciate it.